And we can finally say it is a beautiful evening for the beautiful game here in Oklahoma City. We welcome you to USL Soccer, where the Energy at Taft tonight trying to break a 6-game losing streak, taking on the Swope Park Rangers in a rematch of an unbelievable Western Conference final last season. Along with Eric Krakauer, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, we're finally getting a break on the weather in OKC. It's going to be a warm one this evening. Now, we get Swope Park on the road, and Eric, they have been a great team at home, but get them outside of home and they do struggle.
And that's usually the case in this league, but they have a lot of experience, so expect them to give OKC a very tough match.
And the Energy have had a significant issue. And if you follow this team, you know exactly what it is. They just cannot get the ball to the back of the net. 339 scoreless, 353 at Taft. You got to go back to game one, the last time they scored.
Yeah, 6 straight losses has a way of shattering a team's confidence, especially when the goals have dried up, and that's an enormous obstacle OKC will have to overcome if they're going to get the result tonight.
Now, one person who has no trouble finding the back of the net, Carlton Belmar for the Rangers.
7 goals in 5 games, all of them inside the box. A sure sign of a poacher. He's the key man for this team.
Now, if OKC is going to break this scoreless drought, they've got a guy to do it. He's finally fit. Jose Angulo is in the 11 tonight.
So important last season with 11 goals in 16 appearances. This is a very important return for this team. He's going to have to get on the end of some of those crosses if OKC is to break this jinx.
And you're going to see somebody here popping up in our highlights who is not available tonight. That guy right there, Miguel Gonzalez, won't be able to feed Angulo. Gonzalez serving a 1-match suspension for a yellow card picked up on the 28th. Big match coming up tonight. Can the Energy break that scoreless drought, break their winning drought, or will Swope Park get a victory on the road for the first time this season? We're about to find out. Moments away from kickoff from Taft.
In Ireland, the first Sisters of Mercy were called the Walking Sisters because every day they went out in search of women and children who needed healing or help. Mercy continues to answer the same call, dedicated to the health of every woman who comes to us for care. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB. We go where you go.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
So the players on the pitch along with the officials and some fans getting a chance to experience that moment before the match where the butterflies are still going around on the stomachs of these players. One quick correction. Obviously, Miguel Gonzalez, a red card suspension for an incident in his last game, so he will not be playing tonight for OKC. Take a look at our 11s. First off for Swope, naturally you'll see Belmar up front. Darren McLeod there at the back. What do you see out of this formation, Eric?
Well, there's going to be a lot of attack down the wings from Belmar and Blackwood. That's where I think they're going to create, putting crosses into the mixer for Haji Barry to get at the end of.
Now for the Greens tonight, we'll see Angulo back. That's got to be great news for Steve Cook because goal scoring has been such a challenge. But without Gonzalez, you're looking at Chavez, Brown, Badil, and Dixon being asked to make up for that workload.
And again, based on the formation, you're looking at a team that is going to look to bomb down the wings with Brown and Dixon, with those three guys at the back, and Highland, Andrews, and Ebiaga at the back holding down the fort.
Conditions are warm and sunny. Absolutely beautiful day here at Taft. We've seen some rotten weather around the league in the month of April, and now that May has arrived, it seems like those April showers may have indeed brought some May flowers to the USL. And a very busy month for the league. We're starting, Eric, to see now, in addition to our Saturday matches, we're going to start seeing a lot of Wednesday matches beginning next week, and that's going to test the fitness. And also, those teams that are affiliated with MLS squads, there's going to be a lot of shuffling of folks back and forth.
Yeah, you have to hope that heavy legs aren't to the detriment of the quality of play. But these are guys who are professionals. They train a lot. They know everything they need to do to be at the best condition for the games.
Let's make some noise.
So the Energy in the whites tonight. Swope will be in the blue. Also, one player we must mention tonight playing in the blue for the Rangers. He's 15 years old. Gianluca Buzio already has an assist on the year. He is a homegrown player, so keep an eye out in blue tonight for number 13. We're underway. OKC will possess in the beginning. Artificial surface at Taft Stadium, where the Energy have not scored in 353 minutes and counting. And Belmar drawing a double mark that time. That'll set Swope up. Luis Guardia is in charge of our match tonight. And everybody getting a touch early on to get him in the game. Richard Dixon. I wonder, Eric, if Richard Dixon may be the guy that will be spending most of his time with Belmar. See how that develops. Highland. Long ball. Opportunity here early, and the keeper, McLeod from Canada, coming out there as a little forechecking from Sia.
Dixon is going to be one of those guys on the right-hand side. He's going to use all his pace to get up, swing in some crosses. Give OKC some width.
And Angulo will move around. And I don't know if he can go the full 90, but it's just encouraging for the Greens to see him in the lineup.
And that's a huge confidence booster, which is something that this team desperately needs right now.
It's a team that almost, well, the Swope did make the Western Finals for the second straight year. The Energy losing to them, it took 11 shots, 11 rounds in the shootout before Swope finally advanced to make the Western Finals last year.
Well, let's hope there are some lingering feelings that can be the catalyst to a good game with lots of goals, some good tackling.
Highland will handle the throw in. Of course, if you're Swope, you know that Angulo's in there, so your defensive energies are going to be set there. So it may be time for another Oklahoma City player to step up on that front line. Could be this man right here. Jaime Saya lost it. Highland will keep it in. And it'll be checked out, and again will belong to OKC.
Looked like a handball there.
Sure did, and a shot point blank from Brown is driven out by McLeod.
And that is just a phenomenal reflex save from McLeod. That came in very, very fast, completely unexpected. You look over here, perhaps a shout for a handball. Yeah, definitely a handball. The ref doesn't call it, and that is a quick point-blank shot. Well done from McLeod.
He didn't rest. He stayed alert, and that was a spectacular save on what was a bullet. They'll short corner this and try to set up perhaps a cross for Angulo, but it's broken up. Brown's effort, and a jailbreak here possibly for Swope, but there's nobody there. So Richard Dixon will continue to press, but that's not going to work out. Goal kick coming up. We want to remind you the next home match for the Energy coming up May 9th against Phoenix Rising FC, and this is the final regular season meeting between these two clubs. So for more information about becoming an Energy FC member, bring a group to a match, or single game tickets, just call 235-KICK.
And that's a very positive start for OKC. You want to get your tails up quickly.
Get our first look now at the back line here for the Energy with Andrews, 26. There's Justin Chavez. And now Baril. A lot of balls maybe going through Jose Baril's position tonight. A lot of traffic.
Good work to evade 3 defenders there.
And Brown, double marked, actually got that near the goal mouth and not cleared out very smoothly on the first effort by the Rangers. And Baril with the interception, back to Highland. And the first 4.5 minutes of this, OKC has had the run of possession.
Going back to the point you made earlier about having lots of games on your calendar, that's where turf comes into it and can have a huge impact on players' joints. Much more difficult to recover from a game on turf than a game on grass.
Here's Angulo. Got bumped off the ball rather physically that time by Rebellion. And we'll have a stoppage in play, and this will go for the Energy. And now the referee's turned it right around. Might have been a handball there, and it will be Swope will get it deep in their own end. And Highland's pass is going to be intercepted, and back the other way comes Swope. Belmar with Dixon 1v1 here. Centering, and it's going to be headed away by Andrews.
That's going to be a very good matchup tonight. Belmar and Dixon.
Here's Alex Dixon on the run. And broken up by the boot of Graham Smith. And Swope will reload.
And after starting without much energy, Swope Park now getting a little bit more possession, having withstood that early aggression from OKC. But both these teams standing off defensively, not pressing too high, feeling each other out, which should be the case for at least the first 10-15 minutes.
That'd be difficult to try to find that ball with that combination of sun and shadow right there. You could see the Rangers player hesitating a little bit, trying to find that ball in the air, and could not control it.
But that was a good pass, and you see something about turf as well, is the way the ball bounces on the ground. It takes a little bit more of a bounce, a little bit more difficult to measure it and to control it. And of course, as you said, with the sun in your eyes, triple the difficulty.
OKC maintaining possession. They've had the dominant run of that so far, over 60%. And one blistering shot on goal close in from Jonathan Brown, but Darren McLeod was equal to it.
It's a good way to check if the goalkeeper's awake.
Yeah, throw one at his face from about 10 feet away. A little bit of a lazy feed there, and Highland over to intercept. Now it's a good looking ball there from Dixon to Dixon. Alex Dixon, will he get there first? No, McLeod read it and is on it very quickly.
A little bit of miscommunication between goalkeeper and defender, allowing Dixon to have some space and almost get to that ball. The tiny details, and communication is certainly one of them.
OKC won their opening match of the season in a derby against Tulsa, but that's all they've won. They've dropped 6 straight. They have not scored since March. They were shut out in their 3 games in April.
And if it isn't bad enough that you are not putting up the points, not scoring really is deflating. So much pressure on the back line and the goalkeeper.
an even stranger is only 1 goal at home, and that was very early on in that game against Tulsa. So they're now over 360 minutes without a goal at Taft, and over 345 now, almost 347 plus without a goal, period.
And that's like a lifetime in soccer. And it weighs heavy on players' minds.
Yeah, I wonder how you stop thinking about it. I mean, you're out there, you're playing, you're reacting, but you know, I would think it's human nature to have that in the back of your brain no matter what.
It is, but that's where the psychological factor comes in from the coach. How does the coach prepare the players? How does he have them focus on the positives? And of course, that's easier said than done. But the best coaches are the ones who are able to calm their players and have them go to every game not thinking about the previous one.
Well, there was the 15-year-old Gianluca Busio with a little bit of a run there, number 13. We can keep an eye out for him. Very accomplished already at this age.
Jarvis' first ball has been claimed. You'll all have another shot at our next home match this Wednesday night, so be ready.
And Angulo playing back to try to move this attack forward. Highland, smart play there to head it out of trouble. And now Brown being closely marked and just had his pocket picked that time beautifully by Blackwood. Juan Kamal. And wearing the armband tonight, Amir Didic from Sporting KC, playing with Swope. That is their parent club. On this relationship, when we talked to Steve Cook, the head coach at OKC, said this might be as good a relationship between an MLS team and a United Soccer League team as you'll find, period, between Sporting KC and Swope.
Yeah, a great opportunity to give your players a lot of run, gain experience.
OKC playing not only without Miguel Gonzalez, but Juan Pablo Guzman is still out indefinitely with a knee injury suffered a couple of weeks ago. We mentioned how nice the weather is tonight. That was the St. Louis match where the weather in OKC was rainy. The pitch was wet. He slipped, did a split, and unfortunately one of his knees took the brunt of that and gave out, and that's why he is out for an as yet undetermined time. Take a look there at Steve Cook, and also a first error. There's a tough foul taken by Sia, and looks like the referee is not going to issue a card. Or maybe not. Let's see. Nope, he's gonna.
Perhaps thinking that it was incidental.
If he's coming, yeah, nope, he's gonna avoid the lecture. Let's take a look. Is there a card warranted? That's a tough angle there.
Yeah, but it looks like the arm is up and hits him on the back of the head.
So Badil's got some room here. Comes in low, too low for any effectiveness that time. Headed off the line. Dixon will work it back to Badil.
It's always a difficult angle, especially if you can't get it past the first line of defenders.
Most of the match has been played in the Swope defensive end, but you saw possession is equal. And Dixon hitting Busio, and this will draw at least a lecture, if not a card.
And this seemed like another elbow.
They better be careful about making contact with the official as well, because it looked like there was a little contact with the official. So Ibiaga is the captain tonight. And looks like he's calmed down some of the situation. He actually pushed Angulo over and out of the way, but it looks like Richard Dixon is going to get a caution in the 13th minute.
2 elbows in the first 13 minutes of the game. This one here, again, it's dangerous play, but incidental. Can't argue with the ref for giving the yellow. But it's the consistency that you have to look at. That foul on Sia before, also with the elbow, and no talking to the defender. Here, a straight yellow card.
Now, Dixon's had a card already this season against Portland Timbers 2 back in April. He's hit with one there. So we'll see if Swope can make something out of this opportunity. Blackwood got in the air. And Ibiaga off to Dixon. That's some clever footwork, but just a little bit too much.
A little heavy on that touch, but good skill from Dixon.
Now Brown. And back to Highland, who loves to press.
He's seen a lot of the ball in the early going.
And
OKC really focusing on the left.
He's wrestled down there. And don't know why you quite object to that call. It seemed like an easy one against Hernandez.
It's a little bit better here from Swope Park. More energy. Just a little bit of a tussle. Baril is a big player, so it's hard to bring him down, get the ball off his feet.
Now back to live action. A shot is blocked from Dixon. Barry came back to it, but possession again, staying with the energy, and Andrews will try to restart the offensive attack for OKC. A little bit of an awkward play there. Baril is taken down. He should have a throw-in coming up for the Greens. That's a Highland specialty. He occasionally will offer the acrobatic throw-in, but he stays on the ground this time. Feeding Angulo. That's a smart move there. Angulo doing a little bit of work outside his normal area where he is so dangerous in the penalty area. And Swope will intercept.
That was good hold-up play from Angulo, but then he seemed to fall in love with the ball. Didn't dish it out quickly enough, allowing Swope Park to get around him.
Well, that ball from Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. And for the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. With Eric Krakauer, Dave Lamont, Taft Stadium, the site of this match tonight. Beautiful evening for the game. 80 degrees, not very humid, and not very windy either. It's just a great night for the spectators and for the players.
And a great night to break the jinx. Snap this 6-game losing streak, which, as you said, is probably weighing very heavy. But no sign of that early going, with OKC dominating possession for the most part. Of course, if you're a Swope Park, you don't mind giving up the ball as long as you're not in danger. And other than that early shot, OKC hasn't really threatened.
We've only had, and we've had no shots yet on even on target for Swope. It's been a quiet offensive start for them. They, of course, have the league's leading scorer in Carlton Belmar, number 90 in the blue, with 7 goals on the year. And I believe you called him in the open a poacher. And we have not seen him poach anything just yet.
And able to finish in multiple ways. 3 goals with his left foot, 3 with his right, and 1 header.
Highland with a very creative header there, and Angulo's got some room to work wide. Centering pass deflects around, and McLeod will get there before Sia could.
A little bit of space on the left-hand side. Dangerous cross, not dealt with properly.
A good look there at Darren McLeod. Energy FC and Arvest Bank have teamed to add a new element to home matches. The first ball that leaves the field of play and makes it into the stands, you get to keep it. So we've already had that. So nice, somebody got us an extra souvenir.
Not a bad way to mark the occasion of going to a game.
Yeah, it's not like catching a foul ball in a baseball game. That happens a lot more. You don't usually get to keep the soccer ball. We have a whistle here. And this is going to go against OKC. Charleston leading Charlotte 1-0. Cincinnati 4, Atlanta 2. Those are still active games. You get a look there at Paulo Nagamura, head coach for Swope, also in his first season as the boss, as is Steve Cook. Early on, Switchbacks and Reno are 0-0, as is this match.
Nagamura still looks like he could step onto the pitch. kick a few balls around.
And Van Oekel, veteran backliner, able to scoop that up easily and punt it high into a very bright sky tonight.
I think that might have been his first touch of the ball. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, and
skill.
a beautiful save. My goodness. The second brilliant save by McLeod and another absolute pellet.
That was a heck of a strike from Angulo. Defender sitting back, giving him space.
You can't do that. Not against a professional scorer. Sia almost had an opportunity there. Looks like that was not hit very cleanly. Let's take another look at this. Absolute blast.
But look how much space he has. Tries his luck. Ball takes a bounce on the half volley. Gets all of it, but it's straight at McLeod on either side of the goalkeeper, and that is going in.
Well, OKC on the long, we don't mean to pound this number down everybody's throats, but it is significant. At home now, over 373 minutes without a goal and over about 360 consecutive scoreless period for this side for OKC. And with Angulo returning in the starting lineup, you see what their last goal was. You had to go back to the end of March at Fresno, and their last home goal was a couple of weeks before that. So it is a significant issue when you talk about an OKC Energy team that has lost 6 consecutive games.
And already you're starting to see the difference that Angulo brings to this team, the dynamism, the confidence on the ball, his movement off the ball, creating space in pockets. And those are 2 threats so far in this game that should call some attention to Swope Park's defending. Perhaps unfortunate in the first shot not to get a handball call, but it's time to wake up.
Well, if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will.
Well, we said it before, McLeod.
Well, there's a sloppy turnover by Barry. Just almost handed the ball on a platter. And it'll be swept away, and a throw-in coming in as Sia made a bit of a dangerous run down there. So at the moment, Swope, and we mentioned also at the top of the show, away from their home environs, they have struggled. They have yet to win a game. They have a defeat and a couple of draws.
The way Swope have been sitting back, also a sign that they're afraid of OKC breaking on transition. And you saw them do that just with that play, but with 4 men behind the ball, it's not going to create too much danger if your midfielders don't push up quickly enough to give you passing options.
Now Carlton Belmar being marked against Dixon. That seems to be a matchup that OKC wants. Dixon on Belmar. Lays it off nicely here, though. Rebellion came up 33. It's Hernandez. Now Rebellion again, Colombian player. Got too cute that time. Badil from Spain intercepts. Now Angulo. Angulo's got help, or he could strike on his own with the left foot. Angulo still on the run. He'll fire, but it's blocked. He'll get it back. Tries to center, and it's too high. Angulo found an open teammate in Sia, and he just couldn't put it away. But man, OKC looks like a different side tonight.
And you thought the opportunity was gone. He had a runner on the left, decides to take it himself. The shot is skewed, and he lays it inadvertently on a platter for Sia, who just gets under it. And you have to say that the Spaniard should have put that ball on target.
But when it's not going well, it's just not going well, even when you do things seemingly the right way. Angulo with an absolutely brilliant run, was patient, followed his own shot. Everything was set up beautifully. The run-up was fantastic. Throw-in coming up here for the Rangers. Now, what do they have to do, Eric, to get going, Swope? They seem to be, I don't want to say sleepwalking, that might be too harsh, but they're not very aggressive right now.
Well, they're sitting back so far in a deep block. think they're going to have to push up a little bit more. There's too much space in the midfield for OKC to take advantage of. And until they decide to be a little bit more adventurous, they're just going to invite pressure. And ultimately, there will be more opportunities for the Energy. On that last play with Angulo, though, you saw what happens when you break in fast transition, catch your opposition off guard, disorganized. Very good signs from OKC early on.
Now Belmar switching over, centers it, and the defense gets there first. But now OKC cannot clear it. Rebellon. And a miscommunication that time, as Blackwood was crashing the net. The ball went well over his head, so the Energy turn it around.
It was a good delivery, though, expecting perhaps somebody to come in on the back post. A sign of intent from Swope Park. And you do see that every time Belmar gets on the ball, there's a sense of excitement because he has so much skill and so much trickery.
Barry. Now Belmar. Highland on him. Double mark. Belmar fights through it. Lays it off. Hernandez. Rebellon. And now Belmar. He switched sides. Trying to get around Highland here to center. And it's dangerous, and it's tackled away by Ibeaga.
Super tackle by the captain there. On the money. And again, Belmar with speed and trickery getting into the box, causing all sorts of danger. This is better from Swope Park.
Another throw-in coming in for the Rangers. They picked up 3 wins already this season. Barry, and we're going to get our first corner kick of the match coming up for Swope.
Look at Belmar here on the right, getting past his marker and then forcing Ibeaga into a fantastic goal-saving tackle at the goal mouth.
Swope has drawn each of their last 3 matches: San Antonio, Phoenix, and St. Louis. Off the corner kick. Too long, too strong. And Angulo trying to set something up and may have done beautifully. Here is Alex Dixon. Switch. Angulo's got some room to decide what to do. He looks frisky tonight. The guy has sort of been let out of a cage because he hasn't played hardly at all this season due to injury. Brown's got some room. Centering, came out a little low, and it goes in front of the goal mouth, and a goal kick coming up. Angulo, the target there.
Showing up in the right place at the right time. His touch just fails him. Quick switch of point of attack. Good cross from Brown. And then not getting the touch that he needs. But again, a good opportunity, good soccer, fast in transition.
Well, this does not look like a team that's lost 6 straight games the way the Energy are playing tonight for Steve Cook. Give and go, knocked away nicely there by Swope into the crowd.
Good work from Baril, chasing down that ball.
Chavez with a fancy pass with a heel to Baril. He'll get it back after smashing it off the face of an opponent.
There's a sense of urgency about OKC that is great to see for a team that hasn't been doing well. Their heads are up, their tails are up. And as for Angulo, rising up to the occasion, coming in, a player who probably understands how important he is to the team and not shying away from the challenge.
So Richard Dixon on the throw in. There's Angulo, double marked. A lot of blue around Angulo that time. And now possible breakout here. Here is the teenager, Busio. On the receiving end of the pass, it's just a little bit too far for him, and Andrews will let it go. The goal kick coming up for Van Oekel. To get a player's perspective of the action around the USL every Wednesday as the Tampa Bay Rowdies' Jack Blake hosts the Blake Down on the USL YouTube channel. And that's from Friday night. How about Drogba with the game-winning goals? Phoenix takes out Los Dos.
Yeah, a fantastic player in the twilight of his career, but still getting it done.
Doesn't play in every match, but seems like whenever he does, he is highly effective. You see Baril speaking with our referee, Guardia. Saw a whistle away from where the ball was. Cody Andrews also involved in all that. We may be taking a hydration break here. I was not told of one. And this is not a hydration break, but actually an equipment break. And so on a warm evening, everyone's going to get a chance to load up a little bit. I want to take a moment to remind you about the Energy FC Gold Card, a benefit for season seat members, and you'll get discounts at several metro area locations like Terry Parker Solutions, Mama Rita's, and Buffalo Wild Wings on Northwest Expressway. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold.
Nagamura visibly gesticulating with his players there, taking this opportunity to correct some of the mistakes that he's seen, and he's seen plenty, and perhaps lighting a fire under their butts to try and get some energy, wake them up.
Well, if you're the team coming in, playing a team, I'm sure Nagamura's already warned his guys, look, don't take these guys lightly. They're a sleeping giant. All the coaching cliches that you can sum up in these situations. But yet, sometimes you have to get slapped in the face a couple of times to realize, hey, the coach was right.
Oh, absolutely. It's very easy to play a team that you regard as being inferior because of their record.
Yeah. Well, a couple of big saves you saw there for Darren McLeod, Canadian-born goaltender for Swope Parks Rangers. The hydration break has wrapped up. Even the officiating crew has hydrated. And Nagamura talking with the trainer there. And we're ready to go.
Benevolent referee.
Very. And now all of a sudden Belmar comes crashing in, wide open in front, and a save made by Van Oekel. Boy, out of nowhere that happened.
And that's what happens in the blink of an eye. An opportunity to put all that good work that OKC did to bed.
And now Badil at full speed stops just outside the area. Now to Richard Dixon, looking for a quick one-timer. Brown will end up with it, and he'll shoot it just wide. And OKC has another close call. End-to-end action after what I have been told is not an official hydration break, but as you would say, benevolent officiating break.
Absolutely, and this shot just going wide after Sia had whiffed on the cross. The ball through the defender's legs. Very hard for McLeod to see it. Did look like he had his post covered, though. I want to take a look at that opportunity. I believe it was Blackwood coming at the far post. Didn't get a good first touch, spurning that great opportunity. And of course, unsurprisingly, Belmar, the creator, on the right-hand side.
And foul will be against Highland for the push. Well sold by Repillon.
And I'll tell you what, OKC doing so well to create opportunities, and then all of a sudden almost finding themselves on the receiving end of a quick goal, which would be absolutely damaging to their confidence.
Absolutely. After the effort they put in, and they've had the run of possession, although statistically it's close. It doesn't seem like it, but the numbers say it's just a few percentage points apart. But they've had better shots, better opportunities, and then to give one up so suddenly after everybody, gathered to drink some water. You're right. That would probably start to cause some doubts in their mind. And to them, a 1-goal deficit might feel like 5, the way they have had a tough time trying to score. As you see, nothing in this half. They are approaching 390 consecutive minutes at home without a goal. And now we have a player a little bit slow to get. That's the teenager, Busio. And he is being walked off the field by the trainer. Don't know if he is injured.
Well, it's not a good sign when he takes off his shin pads. As we look at that opportunity for Swope Park, and that first touch, not a very good one. And then the shot there from Jonathan Brown, just wide.
So a free kick coming here for Brown. Launches it into traffic. McLeod eyes it and gets it easily.
That was a good ball swinging in front of the defenders. Going back to that opportunity for Swope Park. Blackwood trying to step on the ball instead of cushioning it.
So Rodrigo Saravia will be coming in to replace Gianluca Busio, and be wary of Saravia. He has 2 goals and 2 assists on the year. And now we understand that that change will not be made until the break. So now they are going to do it now. That's what I thought. You wouldn't be playing that long with a man down. So Saravia, pardon me, Saravia will be coming in. Has played well, but that's a very early substitution, and only 2 left for Nagamura.
And that's a shame for Busio. He looked lively when he did have an opportunity to get on the ball.
So 93 Saravia has come in the meantime. Blackwood, Dixon marking him. Ibiaga all over that. So an interesting decision after about 20 minutes or so. Nagamura switching Blackwood to his left and putting Carlton Belmar to the right side.
And that's where Belmar has seen most of the ball, and that's where the chances have come from for Swope Park.
So we've already had 1 caution of the game against the Energy's Richard Dixon. Now we have a substitution. And right there with those glowing green shoes, you saw the substitution. Well, that call not going over well with the Energy. The referee's assistant ruling in favor of Swope on that throw in. Worked it all the way back to Didic. And again, Swope just taking their time about setting up. Good ball here. Is there an offside? Ooh, look out there. An acrobatic effort there by Richard Dixon. Now, the OKC players are claiming that there was an offside there by Blackwood, but that is not the call. And we're going to get a corner kick opportunity here.
Swope Park looking better when Felipe Hernandez is pulling the strings. Not afraid to spray the ball in different directions, switching the point of attack, trying to make something happen.
Well, it'll be him on the corner, Hernandez. Got to think that number 2 Didic is going to be a factor here with his height. He does indeed break on the ball, and a header from someone else, not Didic, was wide. And a goal kick coming back. And that gives me a chance to tell you about the USL official Twitter feed, keeping you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter.
And Didic here, he makes a near post run. The ball just goes over him. And I'm not sure who headed it wide.
Might have been Blackwood. Looked like there was a 6 on that. Could have been Graham Smith as well. 36 or 16, getting a flick header there that was not on target. Chance here for Badil. Lays it off for Alex Dixon. Dixon, that's going to be too hot on the cross. Angulo had broken in. And that's going to be a goal kick coming back the other way for McLeod and the Rangers. It has been an entertaining first half. Sometimes you get games with no goals in a half, and it's not entertaining, but we have seen chances, particularly for the Greens tonight. And Swope has also had a couple of dangerous ones.
Yeah, certainly an entertaining match so far. Swope balancing the play, getting into this game. So it's begun to be end-to-end stuff.
And Barry was grabbed there just enough and right in front of the official. That was, I think, proximity made that call very easy for the referee.
Barry and Belmar, handfuls. Physical players, good on the ball. And their movement has progressively gotten better.
And Barry. Rabayon had broken on the ball down the right side to make a run, but never did get it. Now he drops it off. Good passing here in close. Hernandez lost it. OKC has been counterpunching a lot of the night. Angulo will have it. You could see what he was going to do, but it ends up the deflection goes to Alex Dixon, who fires a shot that goes into the crowd.
Dixon here, not afraid to break the lines on the dribble. The ball fortuitously ends up at the feet of another Dixon. The shot is wayward. Angulo with an opportunity to find Jonathan Brown on the left. That's the second time he's left him hanging.
So Richard Dixon in the right place at the right time. Chavez. And switch over to the right. Highland with the physical play on the ball and on to Belmar. Now Belmar with a little push, probably got a little frustrated there that Highland just whacked him in playing for the ball and knocked down Baril.
Baril has seen the ground up close and personal a few times in this game.
He would have grass stains if you could get grass stains on this surface.
Instead, he'll have rug burns.
Ooh, dangerous pass there from Highland with Barry pressing. He was able to get it to his teammate. That ball is going to be wasted. And it'll be Graham Smith running it down and letting it go.
And since Swope Park has started to attack a little bit more, OKC has been a little less adventurous, pressing the ball and going forward. That opportunity that Ibiaga had to clear probably put a little bit of a scare into the home team.
Throw-in coming up for the Energy in the 44th minute. We'll see what the stoppage time situation is. We did have kind of an unofficial hydration break. So we'll see what our referee decides to do for extra time in this half. A little bit of chance here for Swope. Rebellion drops it off for Carlton Belmar. Belmar looking to center it. Comes out low. Arriaga didn't clear it cleanly. Hernandez gets it away from Badil. Hernandez turns a corner. Working against Dixon, and Dixon got a piece of it, and the call is a goal kick coming up. Great effort there by Dixon to get it off of Felipe Hernandez, and a big moment defensively there for Energy.
And again, it's Belmar on that right-hand side. He's been the danger man. He's been the offensive catalyst for this team. But Christian Arriaga, the captain for OKC, he's been everywhere he's needed to be so far in this first half. And that's what you want to see from your captain.
3 minutes of added time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sidelines indicated there'll be a minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the first half. 3 minutes.
Damas y caballeros, el árbitro asistente está indicando que se añadirá 3 minutos de reposición para esta primera parte.
So we'll see what happens in the now final about 2.5 minutes of extra time in this first half. Richard Dixon with a throw-in. Energy have had chances. The team has lost 6 straight, have not scored in weeks. They have had good chances. Darren McLeod's made some fine saves. And here's a throw-in coming up for OKC. As Parker Marr and Graham Smith worked on clearing that out. Marr there 44, Smith 16. Dixon waiting for somebody to break. Dropped it off to Sia. Nice move. Angulo in traffic. Now Dixon. Cross. And McLeod there again. Flag might have been up. And McLeod absorbed the brunt of that shot. Let's see what happened.
Lovely interplay. Angulo pulling the defenders out. And then Dixon was in an offside position when he gets the ball to make this cross. And then,
yep, you see the flag go up.
Yeah, McLeod just getting dinked there by Highland, who's pretty far from the position he's supposed to be.
No, he is a crasher. He will do that occasionally.
And not afraid to rough people up.
No, no. Not a big guy either, Highland. There are some big people playing the back line in this league, but Highland's not one of them, but he's sneaky. Belmar. Waning moments of this half. Can Swope make a run here and be the first on the board? Laid off there, not a great pass, so now a breakout chance here for the Greens with Alex Dixon leading the way. Switches to Angulo. Angulo, if he has any room, will pepper one from distance. Instead, lays it off. Sia, he tried to lay it off to Dixon, and the defense was there.
And Swope Park quickly closing the angle for Angulo. They know he wants to turn into his stronger left foot. He thought about the shot, you could tell. And then I think he found Jonathan Brown on the left-hand side, who just delivers a poor ball into the mixer. Last throw of the dice here before the halftime whistle.
We'll be hearing from Brent Skarke at halftime. Into traffic, that was dangerous. And there is the whistle. Unbelievably, despite a tremendous first half for the Energy, they don't score. Now over 400 consecutive minutes they have not scored at home. Unbelievable. Plenty to come, including a look around the league. We'll also hear from Brent when we return. 0-0, the Energy and Swope Park Rangers.
In Ireland, the first Sisters of Mercy were called the Walking Sisters because every day they went out in search of women and children who needed healing or help. Mercy continues to answer the same call, dedicated to the health of every woman who comes to us for care. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. How long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB, we go where you go.
Before the celebration, before the projections. Wait, those are the projections? Before you changed course. Again. Before the late nights, long shots, and leaps of faith. Before it was a startup, it was just an idea. And then everything changed. Cox Business. We're making the connections that change everything.
Well, if you watch that entire first half, you're as surprised as we are that no one found the back of the net in the first 48 minutes of this one. The experience for the local soccer community continues to grow, and one needs to look no further than local product Josh Garcia. He's a graduate of U.S. Grant High School and played locally in amateur leagues. On a whim, he attended Energy FC's Open Combine in January, and since then, he has been training with the first team, was just signed to the U23 squad, and will serve as team captain. Energy FC digital reporter Brent Skarkey introduces you to Josh Garcia.
It's the kind of story they make movies about. A talented but undiscovered player takes a chance, shows up for an open tryout. Next thing you know, he's on the pitch with world-class talent. That's the script for the Josh Garcia story.
Tryouts on a whim, and just did my best and my hardest throughout the trial process, and then now it came time to do what I could and the best I can during the preseason, and thank God and luckily I'm still here and able to represent the city.
Josh, an all-city midfielder at U.S. Grant High School, he spent the last couple of years working and playing in the OKC Metro men's leagues. But now, after a great performance at open tryouts, 2 full months working out with the Energy First team.
Extremely energetic and very, very positive guy. So Josh has been fantastic for us in terms of being around the group. We couldn't be more pleased with him, and pleased to be able to offer him an opportunity to work with a professional team, and he's earned that right. He's earned that opportunity.
Pretty fun. Just kind of the guys are helping, groom me into being the player that I need to be, whether having great days or bad days. But it's been overall a great experience.
But now Josh has another great opportunity. He will suit up with the U23s of the PDL as the side's captain.
He's hard working, he's a very tricky player, so I'm sure he's going to do big in the PDL for the under-23s. Yeah, he's always got a little bit of magic in him, so I'm sure he'll be really good for them.
So a new experience and a great one at that. Last time I captained was, I would say, high school, but it'll be a great privilege and honor to lead a group of guys representing our city.
Well, he understands, what it means to be part of an organization like this that's as committed as we are, and for him to come from where he came from, working his way through, lower level, and then the excellent men's leagues here to prove himself, in an open tryout situation, to come out and be a solid, member of the training group we have here, to be able to have him to start that PDL team for us is massive, because again, his commitment is not just to this team, but to this community.
So make sure to keep an eye on the classy kicker from South OKC. He's proof.
It's possible, because you dream of being a pro and playing pro, or just having a chance to play pro, and once you get in there, even though it's tough at first and it takes time to adjust, but after a while your confidence gets back up and you realize that it's possible. You just got to put in the hard work and stay determined the whole time.
For Energy FC TV, I'm Brent Skarkey.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. There is our situation. And coming up, another episode of the Breakdown. And plus, we'll take you around the league as well. So stay with us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Breakdown. Really excited to analyze the plays of the week this week. We even have an ESPN Sports Center #1 in the top 10. I hope you enjoy.
Great little move there from Cooper. Sends it across. It's Jamal Johnson.
The first play from Jamal Johnson here is his goal. If you watch when he picks the ball up, he has almost like a 8 to 10 meter radius around him, and that's created by his movement and his space. You know, he's recognized that when he's going into the box, that he doesn't need to make the first post run. He doesn't need to make the far post run. It's an extremely difficult finish, and it's coming across his body, and he makes extremely good contact on the ball. He uses the pace of the cross and slots it right into the corner.
To have a completely open view of what's happening. Oh my goodness. What a goal!
I don't think there's any doubt as to why this was the #1 on the ESPN Sports Center. It's a very special thing for a player to see a goalkeeper off a line, especially from a goal kick, because he's not expecting the ball to bounce to him, especially the way it bounced to him. So when the ball did bounce to him, I think that he just thinks, why not? And he's just shown everyone there is the technique that he has, but he also showed me what I feel as though is the mentality of a player, which is something that we've not seen yet this season. I think it's fantastic.
Francois takes it away, plays it back, Brett holds, scores!
Yes, what a great pullback.
Francois' defensive play here is what creates the goal. You know, his teammate loses the ball, he takes a bad touch, but he doesn't give up on it, and he persists, and his reaction to the turnover is fantastic. And then Brett can either do one or two things. He can take a touch or he can finish it first time. The defender thinks he's going to take a first time shot, and that's what then allows him to have the composure to relax, take the touch, and it's a great finish.
Manila makes a meal out of that one. Now Ledesma on the breakaway, and it's 3-0 as he chips Maxi Crepo.
This goal for Cincinnati in the 76th minute is a lot about anticipation for Ledesma. The defender makes a great decision here to play the ball in behind, and when the Ottawa defender makes the mistake, and again he anticipates the mistake, maybe if it was 0-0 at the time and he was going on to win the game or try and win the game, he might have taken a touch close to the keeper. But with the way they were playing, I completely understand why he's taken the first time finish. Thank you for watching the Breakdown on Week 7. As you can see, there's some fantastic goals, some fantastic plays, and I've really enjoyed analysing them. I look forward to seeing you next week.
We are in halftime with the Energy and Swope Park Rangers. Let's take a look around the league. And Kyle Becker of North Carolina, an amazing performance last Saturday. He is your reigning Player of the Week. While Real Monarchs have that new stadium, they draw to Las Vegas in a crowning achievement, to say the least. And congratulations to the USL and its fans. Already over 500,000 in attendance at the earliest point in USL history. We take a look at the midweek schedule, Eric, here, and 4 interesting matchups. We'll be in Fresno for a 9 p.m. Central match versus RGV, but any of these matches stick out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Phoenix Rising FC, a very exciting team to watch. Let's see what happens for the rest of tonight's game, because that's going to be a very tough game for OKC.
And that Fresno RGV game is just part of our USL ESPN schedule. If we take a look at Fresno, where that match will originate from next week. St. Louis FC versus Phoenix Rising, who we just talked about a few weeks after that to wrap up our May coverage. Then 2 matches in June. FC Cincinnati versus Bethlehem Steel FC. The Nashville side against the Indy 11 on ESPN News. And July 4th, stay in the Indy 11 and the Ottawa Fury FC. Coming up, more of the second half with the Energy taking on the Rangers in a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
When that hurricane hit, the entire community came together as a whole. It was such an overwhelming response to help others. No one thought that they were going to do this before it happened, and everyone just did it. I think that's the way that human nature should be looked at.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
In Ireland, the first Sisters of Mercy were called the Walking Sisters because every day they went out in search of women and children who needed healing or help. Mercy continues to answer the same call, dedicated to the health of every woman who comes to us for care. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
Beautiful evening in Oklahoma City, and 0-0 through the first half, but Eric, we did not lack for highlights. We put our team to work during the break to come up with a real microcosm of what this half looked like. And for the Energy, a team that's we've talked about has not scored very much, man, they had chances.
Very entertaining half, just missing the goals. First opportunity here for OKC. Shout for a handball, perhaps, not called, and it's Brown who rifles a shot here, making sure McLeod is awake, forces him into a fantastic near post save. And then OKC would go at it again. Dixon gets the ball here on the right-hand side, but McLeod once again showing up at the right place at the right time. OKC with most of the chances across from Angulo, who was so lively in that first half, perhaps a little selfish at times. This was one of them. Rifles at a half volley. McLeod again, the Canadian, with a very good first half. Angola would have an opportunity for a shot here. He'd skew it. It would land at the feet of Sia, and he'd get under it and go over. The one really good opportunity there for Swope Park, cleared by Ibiaga. And then Angulo not getting the perfect touch there. And, well, as you can see there, not a very good touch by Blackwood, spurning the best opportunity for Swope Park. This is Jonathan Brown getting his shot again, and Dixon high and wide. That man, very dangerous.
And you see the difference in this match. 11 shots to 2, only 2 of those on target. You saw there. Possession surprisingly favoring the Rangers. And just the one yellow card to Richard Dixon. We've also had one substitute so far. Swope taking out the teenager Busio and bringing in Saravia.
Given the opportunities, you would think that OKC should be ahead, perhaps a little wasteful.
Now, we mentioned this is the first of a 3-game road swing for the Rangers. Next week, they'll be in Salt Lake and then taking on RGV on the 19th. They won't be home until May 26th. That won't be an easy one either with Phoenix Rising. And of course, they go back on the road to St. Louis and Colorado Springs to take on the Switchbacks. Upcoming matches for the Energy. Phoenix Rising on the 9th. Then they go on the 19th to host the Switchbacks. A derby against Tulsa. Then June 2nd versus 1868, and at Seattle Sounders FC2 on June the 10th.
Few games against the lower half, teams in the lower half of the table. That will give them some opportunities to rack up those points that have been evading them as of late.
And Swope not one of those teams, though, at 3 wins, a draw, and make that 3 draws and just 1 loss on the year. And you take a good look at the OKC lineup. We don't anticipate any substitutions, and we take just a quick look at that huddle and don't see any. And the other issue is we see Angulo there, who's sort of at the, if you were looking at it as a clock, he's at 12 o'clock. How long can he go tonight? This is his first start and his first significant action.
Well, he hasn't shown any signs of fatigue. I hope for OKC's sake that that will continue. And they'll be saying there in that huddle, let's keep this up. Let's do what we did in the first half. We just got a little bit unlucky, but if we keep knocking on the door, it will surely open at some point.
And Michael Thomas was the first player the OKC Energy franchise ever signed, and he was honored with the jersey ceremony right there, and of course the scarf. And undoubtedly the OKC faithful. This franchise has done well in USL history. They were nearly in the Western Conference Finals last year. In fact, this is a rematch of one of the most memorable games in USL history. A shootout that went to 11 rounds before Swope finally won it, made the Western Finals for the second straight year, but it was Louisville who ended up on top. And by the way, they are off to a ripping start in the Eastern Conference.
I'd like to see the Rangers break a little quicker on the counter in this half. Benefit from Barry and Belmar's pace and trickery. Give them a little bit of an opening to go at defenders on the dribble and create some chances for the visitors.
Well, not much happening in the opening seconds. Both teams turning the ball over. In the blue, that's Swope Park Rangers. OKC riding a 6-game losing streak. They won on opening weekend, have not won since, have not scored since March 31st, have gone over 400 minutes at home without a goal, and they're approaching 400 now in overall minutes without scoring. They came into the game at 339. They 45 or really 48 on top of that, since we had some stoppage time added, so you can do the math yourselves.
We just saw Parker Marr on the ball there on the left-hand side. He didn't leave his half too often in the first half of the game. I'd like to see him maraud down that left-hand side, create a few overloads.
We have Juan Kuzain, 75. Interesting name, Juan Kuzain, Juan Kamong. He has Juan Kuzain, or W. Kuzain, on the back of his jersey there. Now here's the man, Belmar, with 7 goals. Runs into Badil, but got the pass off ahead of time, and there is Mar. Hernandez thought about cranking one from a long way around. Mar knocks down an OKC player, but we play on with Hernandez being marked by Richard Dixon. Quick touch back to Belmar. Belmar looking for some room. Alex Dixon with a sweet tackle that time. Belmar just now getting up, tried to draw the whistle, but didn't get it. The deflection goes to Swope, and they'll maintain possession.
A better start from the Rangers. Diametrically opposed to the first half. And here's Marr creeping up that left-hand side a little bit more.
Almost in the way that Highland did for OKC in his role, and maybe Marr is now going to adopt that position as a halftime change made by Nagamura. And if you're Steve Cook, who you see there in the sports coat, you've got to be encouraged with what you saw in the first half, even though you still haven't had the finish yet. But the scare they threw into Swope, multiple scares, as we showed you in our highlights at halftime.
And he's got to hope there's no drop-off now. The concern is always that you fired all your shots early on. None of them hit the target in the way you wanted them to hit the target, and frustration grows and your players get antsy, and all of a sudden you're not linking up the passes, not linking up the play as well as you did.
Well, in baseball, they say a guy who's trying to do that is trying to hit an 8-run homer. And there really is no equivalent in soccer, but you do press. There's no question. I don't know how, again, we talked about it in the first half. I don't know how you don't. It's just human nature.
It's all about patience. You know that what you were doing was working. Keep at it. Keep chipping away. And Swope Park have conceded goals in all but one game this season, so you know that they have some frailties at the back. You just need to punish them. Something that Angulo tried to do over and over again. Sometimes, as I said before, falling in love with the ball a little too much, not dishing it quickly enough.
Belmar landed a little awkwardly going up for that header. We'll keep an eye on that. And there's an example of what you were just talking about, as Angulo from another part of the city, I think he was in Shawnee when he let that go, and missed everything pretty badly there.
And Jaime Sia applauding the attempt. You like to see that as a neutral in the game. You want to see guys taking those shots. As for his teammates, they probably would like him to dish the ball a little bit more.
But if that had gone in, it's not like basketball. It's not a three. We're not playing with those rules here. Belmar is not quite right. He went up for an aerial duel, came down, and you could see right away that he didn't like the way he landed. So we'll keep an eye on Belmar here in the next few minutes. He is the leading scorer in the United Soccer League this year with 7, and he is a classic sniper. So we'll watch number 90 in the blue.
A sniper who's come in deep a few times to try and collect the ball. When you see your forwards doing that, it shows that they're not happy with distribution. They don't want to lose any rhythm.
A conservative approach in the opening moments of the second half. After a fairly wide open first half, we had a couple of stretches of end-to-end action. And that's looking like Belmar's moving all right here. Moving through traffic, and he takes a hit.
And
Cody
he's been
Andrews,
so positive.
Yeah, Andrews pretty unhappy with the official there. He thought that Belmar may have exaggerated that one. Let's see if he did.
Not intimidated to take on defenders. The ball was gone, but it's a late hit. It's a good call. It's so positive, always going forward.
Well, no card issued here, but an opportunity from a long way away for Fernandez to throw this up into the wash and see what happens.
That's a good ball.
All the way through, just a little too far.
Swope Park breaking OKC's rhythm from the first half.
And have not seen much of Angulo getting the touch, and when he did, he didn't do much with it. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Fandango, Fitzbob, and Supermercado Morelos. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. It looks like Sia rubbing the back of his head a little bit after losing a collision in midair, but no call and didn't really warrant one either.
He's taken a couple of knocks in this game.
Cloud got into that kick big time. Highland. And back to the veteran goalkeeper, Van Oekel. It was a great pass to Badil, over to Highland, now to Angulo. This looks like an organized run-up. As you see, the last time OKC scored a goal at Taft, March 17th. That was opening night. Over 400 minutes without a goal in front of the home fans to let off the green smoke. Dixon. Sia. Shot deflected, and it's going to go right to the keeper.
Sia finding a pocket of space there in the middle. Closed down quickly, though, once he had the ball under control.
That was a tricky one for Badil. He stopped it and then almost fell over it, and I don't know how he kept his balance to collect it back to Andrews, but he did. And he'll get it back. Now a little pressure from Hernandez, and also 92 Haji Berry, who was a pest in the first half against the Energy defense. skilled pass here. Can Dixon get there first? He does. Smith, however, with just a little flick of the foot, able to get control.
Nice bit of skill from Sia.
Now Barrio. Sia has some room here as he splits two defenders. Couldn't get to a third defender, though, and is taken down. The captain, Didic, stopped everything. Belmar tried to squirt the pass through, and it ends up going off an OKC player and all the way to Darren McLeod here in the 55th minute.
If you're a defender, you don't want to see a guy as big as Sia barreling towards you, 6'2", on the dribble. It's hard to get a tackle in, and once you do, the big legs ricochet that ball, and it can end up anywhere. He's pushed up a little bit more in this second half. OKC playing in a 4-4-2 now. And as soon as OKC attacks in transition, Swope Park tries to slow down the pace of the game, gain a little bit more possession, break the rhythm of the hosts. The expectation is that needing a point, OKC is going to have to push up more, opening a little bit of space for Swope Park to capitalize on.
Yeah, this has not been the pace that we saw in the first half. Neither team has really had a great opportunity yet on the offensive end. And a little push there. We'll draw a throw in.
Well, Swope Park is pushing up more.
Yeah.
They're pressing on the center midfielders. If you notice, Jose Barril, almost every single time he has the ball, his back is to the opposition's goal. So options are behind him and not in front of him.
Oh, that's a turnover. As Highland looked like he got his foot caught on that pass and then ends up fouling number 93, Saravia, who will survive.
Looks like he got trod on. Those always hurt. Yep. A left foot catching his right foot. Those are the ones that sting.
Yeah, Belmar unable to control that high heat there. Well, early in the season, the Western Conference was the Wild West. They were pouring goals in like water. Well, tonight, we got 4 Western Conference matchups going on, and in all 4, the combined total of back of the net, 1. So go figure.
Well, in most cases, you'd say as a spectator, those aren't very entertaining games. But if this is any indication of what's happening in the other games, there's been a lot to enjoy.
Again, OKC on a 6-game losing streak. Swope is on a 3-game draw streak. They have drawn each of their last 3 matches, and then Belmar almost got to that. Van Oekel had to come a long way off the line, off a lazy pass, and now Swope Park on the attack, and that is high. And you can see Van Oekel limping on the line, and now he has to take a seat in the goal. Van Oekel and Belmar collided as he had to come well off the line after a turnover by the Energy, and Van Oekel talking it over with our referee. Let's see if we can show you exactly what happened to the keeper.
Heads up play from Van Oekel, just getting there a little quicker than Belmar. And then does he get nicked? Seems like he gets hit right at the end there. But dodging a bullet there.
And a tremendous effort from Van Oekel, because if you know if Belmar had collected that, it's 1-0. Almost seemingly, certainly it would have been 1-0. No call, no foul, no need for a foul, and it's just going to be OKC ball.
You don't want to be...
He looks a little uncertain, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little wobbly, but you don't want to be giving hospital balls, hospital passes in front of a guy with the pace of Belmar. Little handball there.
Well, Angulo, we talked extensively in the first half. He seems to have been neutralized so far in the opening, say, 15 minutes here.
Yeah, they've taken the sting out of OKC for the most part. You did see Sia marauding down the channels and taking on the Swope back line on the dribble. But other than that, a quiet half so far.
Sia trying to squeeze run through to Alex Dixon. He does get there. There's service, but it's headed away by Didic. The captain coming through. However, here's a chance for a set piece for the Energy.
Alex Dixon, a lot of pace on that right-hand side. He's showcased it throughout this game. His crosses weren't the best, but that was a good driven ball. Just nobody really to aim at. Or just one player for OKC in a sea of Swope Park Rangers.
Angulo with a quick kick corner. Badil centers! And it's Joe. We're going to get a call here. And the referee not awarding what is a handball. He didn't see it, he said. Sia crashed the net. They felt that there should have been a handball called on Swope. Let's see if they were right.
And how about this piece of skill from Jose Badil? Crosses the ball, and then it's a little bit too quick to tell.
Yeah, we can't get a clean angle on it. Meantime, it's another corner kick for the Greens. This one launched far post, headed away. Chavez. And now we'll run the other way. This is Blackwood with a spirited charge, but cleaning it up is Justin Chavez. And back to the keeper, Van Oekel. Again, he got nicked up a little bit on a big play a couple of minutes ago that if he doesn't make, it could be the Rangers already with a goal.
The game coming alive once again.
Long service switch now to Marr with Dixon on him. Marr. Just outside the box, Belmar against Brown.
Great little touch.
Yeah, this is dangerous here. They were trying to feed it over to Barry. It cleared away, but not out. Hernandez will try to keep it going. Saravia had wandered into the box with the ball.
Swope Park much quicker, changing the point of attack, stretching the back line for OKC. And this man here, tussling for the ball, doing his job on the left-hand side.
Alex Dixon with a beautiful job to steal the ball. And here it's a shoulder.
Yep, nothing there. Good no call from the ref.
And kudos to our crew for coming up with a great look there. Tackle from behind by Saravia, taking down Dixon and getting a quick conversation, but no card from the official. Only one card tonight. That was, oddly enough, against number 2, Richard Dixon. That was in the first half.
It's been a clean game. It's been a competitive match. Nothing dirty about this one.
I think there has to be respect after last year between these two sides, even though many of those players were not in that game because there's always turnover every season. But for a berth in the USL Cup Finals, these teams went to 11 shootout rounds before Swope Park emerged victorious on a winning kick by a guy who made a save on the kick before, the goalkeeper. Unbelievable story.
Those are rare, and they are amazing. And losses like that leave a bitter taste.
Well, Blackwood trying to get around Dixon, but Dixon shuts him down.
For the most part, Tyler Blackwood has been a bit of a passenger in this game. Had arguably the best opportunity of anybody in this game. His first touch let him down. perhaps a little short on confidence as this game has progressed. He needs to get a good touch on the ball to regain it.
Contested header there. Dixon got the best of it. Badil launching. Didic. Oh, good tackle there by Didic, but not all the way out. Now Badil serving it to Alex Dixon. They're looking for Angulo. It comes out low. Angulo! Oh, and a point-blank save, and the rebound is cleared away. Unbelievable. OKC point-blank. Angulo turned, and the keeper was right there. Ball still loose. It will get through. And another save by McLeod.
Well, give that man a raise, because he's been the one thing preventing OKC from not only going ahead in this game, but perhaps scoring a few. Angulo wide open. Quick transition from OKC, and that open Swope Park wide open.
It was Badil to Dixon, Dixon to Angulo. Everybody in the stadium was expecting Angulo to get the pass. The pass was perfect, but McLeod was the equal to it. Again. Barry pushed just a little bit, but not enough to draw a whistle, and it'll go all the way back to Smith. And Swope will reload. I think we need to take a second after all that to reload and to tell you that if you want to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL, then you've got to make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. Eric Krakauer, I'm Dave Lamont. Taft Stadium, the site of this match tonight between these Western Conference rivals. Now Marr has some room here. Gets around Badil. Into traffic. Barry is open for the moment. And Ibiaga is able to get enough on it to get it to Dixon. Throw-in coming up for Swope. The Energy FC Gold Card, a benefit for season seat members. You can get discounts at several metro area locations like Carl's Plaques, the Soccer Store, Dental Works, Movie Central, and Flower Boutique in Tuttle. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. More pressure now from Blackwood. He bumps with Highland, and that slowed Blackwood down just enough. Saravia. He came on in the first half for Busio. No changes yet for Steve Cook and OKC. And how do you substitute if you're Steve Cook? Do you substitute thinking offense here to try to get on the board at last, or are you going to try to sneak out with a point?
Well, I wouldn't make any changes just yet. These are the 11 guys that have been giving you the opportunities. You just haven't capitalized on them. So now I'm thinking, if I'm Steve Cook, fatigue will really dictate my substitutions. A point is better than a loss, so I don't want to get crazy and make major changes to the game plan.
Again, playing without Miguel Gonzalez, who's serving a red card suspension. He will be back for the Energy's next game on the 9th. Through ball here, Barry. He had evil intentions of that for that pass to Blackwood. Smith, and as a counterattack open, big collision there, and it's going to go in favor of OKC.
Jaime Sia against the relatively smaller Felipe Hernandez there. And we're seeing this pattern in this game that every time OKC has a good chance to score, Swope Park then tries to settle down the pace of the game in the midfield, keep a hold of the ball.
Into traffic, and a little flick by Dixon, harmless. Well, the Energy now over 400 total minutes without a goal. and well over 400 without a goal at home. Angulo. Alex Dixon, we know he can center it from here, but that one was slammed shut. And that's a little bit of sloppy play by the back liners there, as Marr couldn't do anything with that pass. And a throw-in coming up here. Let's see if it'll be Dixon or Highland. Looks like it'll be Dixon. Angulo, and that'll be another throw-in coming up.
He's waking up again.
Well, OKC needs him to. This is his first start of the season. He played a little bit a week ago. Long throw in, headed away. Came along in the middle of the season last year from St. Louis. And hang on, referee's going into his pocket here. And Ibeaga pretty hot about that. He will find out if he got the card. And Ibeaga, the captain, gets the second yellow card of the night, both of them against OKC.
And judging by Angulo's gesture, seemed like it was a high foot showing cleats on that tackle attempt. He's been solid as a rock in that back line. Hasn't put a foot wrong, at least not until getting cautioned.
OKC gets it right back, 71st minute. The game without a goal.
It's been coming.
It seems like it. OKC's had more chances than Swope, and McLeod has made some sparkling saves for the Rangers. Highland back to Andrews, and this is going to be an opportunity now here for Swope to set something up. We'll see what this run-up is going to be like, starting with the throw-in. Marr. Hernandez tried to go the give and go to Belmar. And there he is, the captain, to sweep it away.
OKC doing a good job of closing the passing lanes. Swope Park only ever really threatening when moving the ball quickly in transition.
Van Oekel very quickly off the line. If he's got any problem with that right leg, he didn't show it there. Now Belmar, leading scorer in the USL going into the night, and a quiet evening for him.
And if you take into consideration the fact that this guy has scored 7 goals, all of them in the box, and he's picking up the ball in his defensive third, that shows you that OKC is doing a very good job of keeping an eye on him anytime he crosses the halfway line.
A Mercy physician can keep you at the top of your game. Find your doctor at mercy.net/topgame. At Mercy, your life is our work. Throw in for Swope. They have 2 substitutions remaining. The Energy have all 3. You start to get to that time of the match where we may start to see some changes. What will Steve Cook do? Eric made the point that right now the guys he have out there have given him maximum effort. Will they be able to sustain that, or will fatigue set in?
And I guess that when you talk about fatigue, you have to talk about Jose Angulo. He slowed down a bit, lacking match fitness, but I keep him in there a little bit longer.
Van Oekel taking plenty of time, making sure he's got his chess pieces where he wants them. Chest trap there by Angulo, nicely done.
And that's the quality he brings to this side.
That's a good pass there to Dixon, Alex Dixon. Badil into traffic, swept out of there by Smith and controlled by the Energy.
Richard Dixon had made a really good run into the half space there.
And there he is with it right now.
His namesake, Alex Dixon, didn't trust the pass.
Highland thought about it, launching one into the box, but it held off. And Swope Park will sweep it away, forcing the Energy to start over. OKC hasn't scored a goal since March 31st. Oh, clever pass from Alex Dixon. Now Sia. Now Badil. And now a corner kick.
And that all happens because Dixon, crafty as ever in this game, with a backheel pass, breaking the defensive lines, and then the overlapping run from Jose Badil. He's upset he did not deliver a better cross. Two Spaniards linking up here. He had time to stop the ball, look for a passing target, decides to go first time. Doesn't come off for him.
Angulo, we've seen short corners here. He'll launch this one far post, headed. Not enough, nothing really on it.
And the captain, Ibiaga, wants that back. He was wide open at the far post. Looked like the ball hit his nose or and then the side of his arm. A very awkward lunge.
So we anticipate some substitutions coming in very shortly. Got to be careful there, and Ibiaga very careful to get rid of that. And that may indeed bring enough stoppage to get our substitute. As you see, the drought for OKC now up to 415 minutes.
Your attention, please. Swope Park substitution number 71, Chase Minter, replacing number 85.
So Felipe Hernandez will check out, and 71, Chase Minter will come in. That'll be for the Rangers. And Philip Rasmussen will come in, and Jose Badil will be checking out.
A substitution for your OKC Energy FC, number 7, Philip Rasmussen.
So Rasmussen will come on for Badil. Rasmussen, a veteran Energy player, has battled injuries in his career. When healthy, very effective.
And this is a freshening up of two midfields. Badil worked a lot for OKC, and Hernandez, throughout so much of that first half, was the guy who was trying to pull the strings.
And Minter gets a quick touch right away and almost turned it over. As you see some pressing going on all of a sudden here, all the way to the goalie, and he fouled it off. Oh, a mental error by McLeod, or a physical error. The pressure from Chavez is going to force a corner kick.
And how disastrous would that have been? McLeod, who's arguably been the standout player in this game, just whiffs at the ball. The pressure from Chavez clearly getting to him.
You know, you can use your hands, I'm just saying. Pick that thing up and Chavez is pestering you.
Well, that was a pass back. Then you'd have had a free kick.
Yeah, true. Angulo.
Angulo's going to get a yellow card here. He lunged in frustration. Didn't completely connect with Parker Marr. But he's got nothing to complain about. Tried to pull off a trick.
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials issued a yellow card.
So that'll be the third yellow card against OKC. And just out of the frame is what Eric was speaking of, Angulo.
And he doesn't connect completely, but it's the intention there that the referee is punishing, and rightly so.
So Minter with nobody around him until he gets to the middle. You wonder if Angulo is starting to tire. It would be understandable if he did. He played almost no time until last week and then gets the start today. Belmar weaving through traffic. He'll fire! And a diving grab made by Van Oekel.
Now he gets a shot off, not too dangerous, a little selfish, but you saw on the right-hand side, Rebellion had space. He was in a much better position to create something.
So we understand Wilson Harris will be coming in for Swope, and now down for the moment is Graham Smith. He'll hobble. The throw in coming in too quickly to allow the sub. Alex Dixon with a low skipper for a cross. And nobody made any contact with that. Now Richard Dixon on the chase. Ibiaga gives back to the back line and Cody Andrews. So if that is indeed Harris that's going to be coming in, that will be all the subs tonight for Swope Park. Now Angulo fighting off and blasting and just missed the dangerous left foot of Angulo. It'll be a goal kick coming up.
Well, he's not afraid to pull the trigger. We've said that a few times. I'd like to take a look at that again, just see how far wide that went. Judging by Darren McLeod's reaction, it wasn't far off target. He did look worried.
So you take a look at Wilson Harris coming in for Tyler Blackwood. That's it for Swope for substitutions. OKC has 2 if they want them.
Goes back to what I said. Steve Cook is not going to make changes unless they're absolutely necessary. Unless there's a player out there who's totally spent.
I'm just sitting here in shock that there's a chance that OKC is going to play this game without scoring, and it's going to be 4 straight games without a goal, and all these hundreds of minutes that have gone by without one on the back of the net. And they've had great chances tonight, and certainly credit Darren McLeod for keeping a couple of them out of the back of the net.
And of course that's frustrating, but you got to keep.
This is dangerous here for the moment. Highland sweeps it away.
You got to keep your focus on what's positive, and there's been a lot of positive in this game. It's a late challenge there from Didic.
And we're going to get a card out of this. Yeah, that'll be the first yellow against the Rangers, and Didic will be hit with it, the captain. So both captains have been hit by our referee tonight.
A little retaliation on Angulo for his earlier tackle.
Could be.
And also a means to stop him.
Meantime, this would also be equally odd to see Swope have a 4th consecutive draw.
Well, they haven't done that much to change that.
Rasmussen just flipped it up there. Now Dixon will fire, and why not pepper one? That one obviously missed way high.
He just leans back when he's about to make contact with the ball, and that skies it. Take a look at it. Just leans enough to get under that ball.
Just looking ahead a little bit, can't imagine there being a lot of stoppage time in this half. We've had virtually no delays. The yellow cards were administered very quickly that we've had without any kind of falderall or big arguments going on. A little foul here in favor of Swope Park. So Juan Kuzain will try this kick. See how aggressive he is with this. The answer is pretty aggressive. into the box. Dixon whiffed on the opportunity. And now we're going to get a corner kick coming up here.
Looks like a penalty here.
Oh, it's going to be a PK for a handball.
And this is disaster for OKC. This is exactly what we were talking about in the first half. When you are creating all the chances, and then in one moment or from one moment to the next, you find yourself in this situation.
And that's the right call.
Absolutely, 100% a handball, and really should be a second yellow for Dixon as well in that situation.
So they will argue. They will not win the argument. And all of a sudden, Swope has a chance in the 85th minute to thrust themselves ahead. And this will be Haji Berry, who has 2 goals on the year already, one-on-one against Matt Van Oekel, to try to give Swope the lead. And it was absolutely the correct call. Berry, back of the net. Swope takes the lead.
That was perfectly taken. No chance for Matt Van Oekel.
And you know what? OKC's got to keep their cool here. Van Oekel's hot. And he has just been hit with a yellow card. And Ibiaga's got a yellow already, the captain. If he gets another yellow for dissent, it puts Oklahoma City in an even worse position than they already are in. And now if they're going to break the 6-game losing streak and get the tie, they've got to get moving, and they've got to get the equalizer, and quickly. But they haven't scored in weeks.
And this is a very composed finish from the striker. Van Oekel guesses the side.
And now Minter on the turnover. He'll fire. Van Oekel was well off the line. It's a good thing he was. And now a corner kick is coming up.
A lot of power on that strike, but straight at Van Oekel. And Minter has really done well since coming into this game.
And a ball on the pitch there that's got to be gotten rid of. And it'll be, looks like Minter is going to go ahead and take this corner as well. An awful break for Oklahoma City. But the right call, as we had an excellent angle on the replay. You can see Dixon thrust the hand out. That's going to be a foul against OKC. And now Swope and Belmar, let's see if he takes the kick with a chance. A little frustration on that foul. Throw in coming up. So 4 cautions issued to OKC tonight and 1 to Swope Park. And Berry picks up his 3rd goal of the season on the PK. Andrews hit with a little foul there. Swope now just taking their sweet time. You don't blame them for that. And now it's going to be turned over, and OKC will have to do something, and very quickly. Again, we don't anticipate a ton of stoppage time. Highland, everything he has into that throw-in. Andrews rifles it down as far as he can. And Gulo almost giving himself a whiplash trying to head that one. Andrews, the rocket header. Sia trying to do something with it as he chases. But Swope is countering. Breaking through. And Van Oekel is able to, they almost got that to Harris. Now Angulo.
Go, go, go.
The counterattack for OKC. Drops it off for Dixon and just did not quite have enough on it.
Timely tackle from Marr there.
A little more and maybe Dixon could have done something.
Well, this is going to be frantic pace to the end. Route 1 soccer from OKC.
how much extra time will be tacked on in this match. Ironically, the goal and all that will add a little bit to the stoppage time to give the Energy a chance.
I was a little surprised that Belmar didn't go for the shot after getting past not one but two defenders on the dribble.
We're hearing we're going to get 2 additional minutes. Oh, and careful there, and that's going to be on the captain, who ended up getting hit in the face, but the call had already been made. Again, he needs to be careful. That armband carries privileges.
He made a point here. He'd already committed the foul, but he was saying, you know, you gave a yellow for an elbow to one of my teammates earlier on in the game. I did get elbowed after the fact. Nevertheless, a caution, Mr. Referee. We'd have to look at that again.
So 2 minutes or maybe a little more. Here's Minter. He might launch this right at the goal if he wants.
Well, I don't think it would be smart to do that. They want to take the ball to the corner and waste every second of these 2 minutes.
And they're going to get more of a chance to do that very same thing. OKC in their zeal to try to get the ball back ends up fouling. Throw-in coming up, and it's ruled in favor of the Greens. So from almost the entire back, can they go end to end here to get an equalizer? Angulo in a lot of traffic, a lot of blue around him right now. Minter ahead, had to be offsides, and he was. And Belmar with a little delaying tactic there. Now we have 2 balls out there on the pitch, and Van Oekel's got the official one.
And he's going to launch this into the box.
This might be the absolute last chance here for OKC.
The equivalent of a Hail Mary.
A little shy of the box, headed off the line. And Belmar was given a yellow for that little flick out of bounds. So that's a 6th caution tonight.
This will be the last chance for OKC.
All hands on deck for this one.
We haven't given Didic, enough credit for what he's done in this game. Very secure at the back, the captain.
Into traffic, here we go, headed off the line by Didic, and that is it. A heartbreaking defeat for OKC. Meantime, Swope Park ends their 3 straight draws with a win on the road and their first one away from home on the PK by Barry.
Well, it always seems that luck is against those teams that are facing hardship. OKC, the better team for most of the game, punished for wastefulness and a costly mistake from Richard Dixon, giving Swope Park an opportunity with a spot kick that was perfectly placed and put away by Haji Barry.
The Energy FC Man of the Match is brought to you by Mass Mutual of Oklahoma, and it is going to be the keeper, Matt Van Oekel.
He did make a couple of saves in this game. That one all important. And then here coming off the line, beating Belmar to the ball. He was so close as well to reaching the penalty that he conceded, but couldn't stretch enough.
Well, a difficult night for OKC. You feel for him just a little bit for not being able to win. But if you're a Rangers fan, you don't. And your team picks up a 4th win and 3 more points in that Western Conference race. We'll be back for the Centec postgame show after these words.
You had some opportunities of your own.
When that hurricane hit, the entire community came together as a whole. It was such an overwhelming response to help others. No one thought that they were going to do this before it happened, and everyone just did it. I think that's the way that human nature should be looked at.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
A well's output is only as strong as landing the production stream. In extreme conditions, call for extreme durability. At Syntec, our engineers understand what matters. That's why we craft centralizers differently than anyone else in the industry. Laser cut from a single piece of special steel alloy. There's only one centralizer this strong. Syntec Centralizers, an international symbol of quality.
Welcome to the Energy FC postgame show brought to you by Syntec. 1-0, Swope Park gets a PK in the 86th minute from Haji Berry. After a game where there were so many chances for the Greens to break the 6-game losing streak and finally get a goal, but as you see by the board, it did not happen. Let's go through the highlights after full time.
And it was mostly OKC in the first half, starting off very well. The ball here to Angulo. He puts in a cross, causing all sorts of trouble. But McLeod, who was so good in this game, picks up the ball. And then it's Angulo again, half volley. I see you, he says to the teammate, but I don't need you. Strikes the ball, McLeod with the save. Then Angulo again, we said his name a lot in the first half, shanks the shot. And then it's Sia on the right-hand side getting underneath it, not putting that away. One of the best opportunities for Swope Park there. Cleared off the line by Captain Ibeaga. And they'd have another chance here, but it's Blackwood with a terrible first touch, allowing Matt Van Okel to get to the ball. Jonathan Brown here with the strike, near post, just wide.
And the theme again goes back and forth. When you're not scoring and you just can't catch a break, no matter how hard you try. Watch this beautiful from Baril, and they thought there was a handball there, but the official was correct in saying it was off the shoulder. But OKC with all these chances, and I can't get one.
And this perhaps the best chance of them all. Angulo wide open, can't put it away. And then a silly mistake from Dixon, and a goal-scoring opportunity from the spot for Swope Park, and they do not waste it. Haji Barry composed with the goal.
17 shots to 5, but 4 of the 5 on target for Swope. They also had the edge in possession. We had 6 cautions tonight, no reds in this match, so Miguel Gonzalez will be eligible to return for the Energy. He was missed tonight. He will be back for the Energy's next match, and we start that Saturday-Wednesday stretch in the United Soccer League for about everybody, and these two teams not left out of that. For Swope Park, next up, they will be against the Real Monarchs at 8 o'clock Central on Wednesday night. That ought to be a lot of fun. Real with a new stadium, which has already been inaugurated with the draw with Las Vegas. And for the Energy, they've got to recover because Phoenix comes to OKC on the 9th at 7 p.m. And that is going to be a major test. Phoenix Rising, always high-scoring, very dangerous side.
Not exactly the opponent that you want to see in front of you when you're on a 7-game losing streak. But, as I said before, a lot of positives in this game, and I think that's exactly what Steve Cook will be saying to his players right now.
So the fans file out on a beautiful evening in Oklahoma City and hope that their Energy can pick up that elusive second win and that elusive goal at Taft Stadium on Wednesday night. Michael Thomas honored at halftime, and the supporters still waiting to launch that smoke of a goal. but not to happen tonight. Angulo with another point-blank opportunity rejected. And for Steve Cook, a frustrating evening. How he spins this one to his team is going to be critical as they get ready for Wednesday night. For our crew and for Eric Krakauer, I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you for watching the United Soccer League.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.